Alright guys, welcome back. This was my second attempt of doing this video because of the battery of my tablet died. This is the Earth's Mightiest Heroes, the Avengers, issue number 214. This is an 80s comic. It's 40 years old. It's from 81? Right. So yesterday I did a Captain America Ghost Rider Fear, and I thought, yeah, let's continue with the Ghost Rider stuff. But this is another Ghost Rider. Well, this is the original. This is Johnny Blaze. And without further ado, so this is the fallout, what's happening here with the trials of Hank Pym. So for those who don't know, Hank Pym has a breakdown. He lost it completely. He hit his wife, Janet. He did something. He went on trial because reasons, but then he created a robot during the trials, and that has, attacking the court. And he was supposed to be then the hero, saving the day. But it all went wrong because the robot went completely also nuts somehow. It didn't do what he wanted. And then Janet was, in the end, saving the day, disgracing him. Captain America is really frustrated about that. He thinks he's also to blame. And Tigra has not a, she thinks that Hank is a creep, right? He deserved what he got. Now, Hank Pym is the joke of Marvel Comics for years. It doesn't matter if he has redeemed himself many, many times over, if he's saving the world many, many times over, they still make him weak and pathetic and keep reminding us, although it's 40 years later and everything in between, that he did that horrible thing what happened here. And I'm pretty sick. I'm sick of it. That he's being treated as a scum. In this timeline, he deserves it to a certain point. Although there's reasons for what he did, but it doesn't excuse it. But at least, he did everything he can to become better and become the hero that he was meant to be. But still, Marvel treats him like crap. Jarvis is also defending him. He says, Madam, you are mistaken, because he has some opinions. I have known Dr. Pym for years. He's a fine man, a good man. I've never seen him flinch from any other danger or duty, no matter how fearsome or grim. Truly, he is a hero. Men are infallible, even heroes, and Dr. Pym, like any man, must bear the consequences of his action. Judge him not too harshly, madame. But she doesn't have any of it. And she walks away, right? But this is a reminder what modern comics and, modern creators, should learn from it. It doesn't matter if you are falling. It matters if you become better and try to do better, etc. Meanwhile, Thor is coming to the World Trade Center because he has an appointment as Dr. Donald Blade, his other persona, with Stark here. And Stark wants to hear his medical opinion about what happened to Hank. And Donald says that it's more like during stress and, he has a mental breakdown. And so Tony asked, hey, what shall we do? Well, it takes time and a lot of money to heal him. And, they're setting up basically a plan to help. But the problem is maybe Hank doesn't want to be helped because he's a very proud man. Meanwhile, here is Janet Van Dyne Pym is here, and you can see her black eye. So Hank is here, and wants to apologize for what he's done, but he also knows he's messed up, and now he wants to, he just wants to talk, but it's not really clear what he actually wants, and I don't think Hank actually knows what he wants to, except maybe some reconciliation with her or something. But Janet says, no, I want to have a divorce, and you can have my money, if you don't have any. And he says, well, I'll be all right. I got some income from my books and patents. I'll be fine. Well, it's not really the case because he's in debt. His patents were sold years ago, and his books are out of print. I don't know. Can you just reprint books? I mean, that could help, right? Anyway, but this is a man at his lowest, depressed, doesn't know what to do, where to go. Man trapped, I can say, right? Meanwhile, Captain America's, has his frustrations and go away, fly. Sorry, I have some irritated fly flying around here. So, and then Jarvis comes in and, has some kind of a pep talk about, the American dream, and that people can fall and can rise again. And that the captain needs to focus on the good things and eventually everything will work out. And, Hank will come back and he will pick himself up, right? It's good advice. Meanwhile, we have Johnny Blaze here, and he's a little bit irritated because he sees a custom dyno Ferrari and he says, "Blasted, some rich carefree son of a gun is tooling around in a 60 grand toy while I'm wondering will I be able to afford a meal again. He got some gorgeous blonde riding shotgun and all I've got is rocks and vultures for company." So basically he's getting frustrated and he, says that people will be, in his vicinity will be pushed away because of his other half, the Ghost Rider. And he says it isn't fair and somebody has to pay. And this one, the person that needs to be paying is Warren Worthington III, also known as the mutant called Angel. All right, and he has his girlfriend Candy. Candy was a big part of, is a part of Angel's life, right? We've seen her a couple of times through the years. Not sure why he still hasn't hooked up with her, but hey. And then he sees that someone is coming closer, but that's impossible because he's reading top speed. And he says, "Oh, cripes, it's him. Warren, what is it? What is that thing?" "Well, it's the Ghost Rider, Kenny. I know him from the Champions." So the Champions was once upon a time superhero group with Hercules, Black Widow, Iceman, Ghost Rider, and Angel. That's about it, I think. Maybe I'm missing one. I'm not sure. I was not a big fan of the Champions, so I never pursued it. And I know I didn't like the art, didn't like the whole group together. But, once upon a time, they were teammates, right? He says, "Don't worry, Kenny. He looks scary, but he won't hurt us. I hope." And then he's, "Wow, did you see that? He popped a wheelie at 200 miles an hour. He's leaving us behind like we were standing still." Yeah, once upon a time, Johnny Blaze was a member of the circus, and he was a stunt rider. It's cool to see him stuff like this again. And then he's standing still on the road, and the narrative says, "Power-assisted ventilated disc brakes lock out of 4 wheels, grinding $2,000 worth of steel-battered radials into black dust and send the car careening crazily." So car is broken, they crashed, and then he pops them up, and he says, "Hey, what do you want?" says Warren. "Well, so it is really you, Warren Worthington III, the mutant with wings, the one men call the Angel." He says, "What do you want?" "Well, I think I would enjoy a race. Yes, my machine against your wings. You're crazy." "Shut up. I will do as I say, or perhaps I shall give the woman of yours a kiss, eh?" So he says, "All right, demon, we win, we race. Where to?" "Diablo Peak." And then he uses his hellfire to create a bike. It takes energy out of him, it weakens him, but that doesn't matter because Johnny Blaze, Ghost Rider, is still way too fast and he can do things that a normal human cannot do. But at one point, Warren gains momentum and punch him in the face and says, "This is what you get for threatening my girlfriend." He said, "What's gotten into you?" So Ghost Rider says, "It's not what gotten into me, cretin, it's what got out. I am the living spirit of vengeance. Once Johnny Blaze tempered my wrath with his mercy and compassion, but no more. To hate is with his heroic altruism and polite fairness. My way is swift and sure. When there is injustice, the Ghost Rider craves vengeance, and it shall be mine. Pain slices through him like 1,000 razors, as the flames sear not his flesh, but his soul, and an angel falls screaming to the earth." And the Ghost Rider laughs, and he says, "Never shall he defy me again." He's now in a coma. Candy is calling the Avengers, and she's getting Captain America, and he's running up the group, and he says to Kenny, "Well, we're coming there tomorrow, and we'll see what's going on, right?" Meanwhile, Johnny here has a job at this, what's it called? Fuel station? No, gas station, and he feels guilty about what's happening, and he maybe wants to visit Warren and explain things, right? But then he says, this girl or guy, boy, I don't know, "Hey, Johnny, did you hear the Avengers are coming to town?" "The Avengers?" So everybody's up and roaring, and they're getting their heroes welcome in a small town And so there's a lot of people, and they're giving autographs and people talking. And I love this part. There's a little bit of humor here. You're the mayor, Mr. Obadiah, and the sheriff, and the postmaster, and the chamber of commerce. Good. Maybe then, we can rent a car, preferably something like roomy like a Lincoln, or, well, we don't have us no Avis and Hertz here in Alkali Platz, Mr. Man, sir. That's Iron Man. Right, Mr. Iron. But I can fix you up with transportation to our deluxe motel. So, okay, then this happenings. Thanks, Mr. Obadiah. My pleasure, Mr. Iron. I have the $12.95 plus tax added to your motel bill. I happen to own it. So when Johnny Blaze is not feeling comfortable because he knows they're looking for him. Meanwhile, they are scouting the town, and Tigra here is, changing some clothes, in the local clothes, and says, "Howdy, partner." "Well, hiya, Cap. Got room for a catty cow person? Hop on." All right, so they are, riding around, sightseeing, and then they go to this diner where people are talking about the Ghost Rider. And so they are talking about the fact that, nobody found a trace, although people, no sign of him. And Captain America's, talking to the townspeople and all that stuff. So Johnny Blaze wants to go out because he's feeling the heat. And then this woman says, Johnny, please help. It's him. It's Kim. He's on the water tower. I told him not to play adventure, but please help him. So Johnny transforms then into the Ghost Rider, but he needs to remember that he needs to save the boy. But will the Ghost Rider help him? And the Ghost Rider says, "Bah, forget the child. If he should die by his own hand, what does the Ghost Rider care? What is there to avenge?" And then, but the Avengers there to hunt me. There is an affront that the spirit Avengers cannot ignore. And he is, "Oh, Mommy, I'm sorry, I never played 4 again." Iron Man comes in, saving the day. And then he says, "There are you, my persecutors. The Ghost Rider, we found him." And he says, "Gift chase then, if you dare." So I like it when he's doing all these weird stunts. But then, Ghost Rider, of course, is not a normal human being. He can drive up the walls, and it's a trap. And they are coming around the corner so fast, they have no choice but to crash. And then Tigra says, "Hey, where's the Ghost Rider?" And he says, "Behind you, woman." Streams of hellfire spurt from the demon's outstretched hands, washing over Tigra and Captain America, seizing them in its crackling embrace. The flames bite deep into their souls. In a searing instant, they know what it is to be dragged eternally through the pits of Hades. Their screams echo through the canyons and do not go unnoticed. I like that. This is probably Angel. So then Ghost Rider does this, but I don't know. Iron Man dives into him, and he says, "Well, you cannot, you cannot do anything because, well, I have armor, and I can, your heat doesn't do anything." But that's not true because he has his eye slits open and he's getting burned from the inside. And then Ghost Rider shoots hellfire from his eyes. Thor is not impressed, and he is blaming or accusing him for that he's using the imaginations and weaknesses of man to portray a demon from hell. And he says, "You denies my lies, cretin, but you are fond of calling yourself a god, are you not? And did you not in ancient times allow men to worship you? Oh, but nowadays things are different, hey? You use the words god in the legendary sense, I see. Still, each of us in our own way exploit the weakness and ignorances of the humans." And he's calling him overrated. The force of throw is spent, and it turns as I knew it would. It is enchanted, and a creature such as I perceives such things as easily as mortals perceive the mundane. Fly, hammer, take me to your master. And then, but the hammer doesn't strike Thor because it flies out of the hand of the Ghost Rider into the hand of Thor. And but he's pleased because he humbled him. So the rest of the Avengers comes and says, "Thor, are you all right?" "Aye, and wiser." All right, so they are making a plan to tackle the Ghost Rider, right? But then Tigra is scared, and that is a thing that is coming back through these Avenger. When she was an Avenger, right? She has a lot of self-doubt and fear in her, especially after the, hear about that she's been seared to the bone with hellfire. But then Cap doing the pep talk, and Iron Man says, I don't know how you do it, Cap. No armor, no weapons, no superhuman abilities, but you put us all to shame. What a man! Anyway, moving on. Ghost Rider, knows that or thinks that Warren Worthington is caused that the Avengers come to town, and he wants to take him out because it's all his fault, right? But then the Avengers are, ready for him, and Tony or Iron Man blast him away. But Ghost Rider feels that the girl in question, or the woman, is susceptible to the hellfire because he's, has fear in her. But Captain America is shielding her, and the rest are saying, well, the hellfire is not doing anything for me. And Ghost Rider wants to kill them with his bare hands. Again, he's targeting Tigra, and she's frozen with fear. Your wind vortex has him pinned, so let's press our advantage quickly, force him to surrender. But then Ghost Rider says this: stupid mortals, a hellfire spawn spirit cannot surrender. I fight until the vengeance I crave is mine, or I am destroyed. Oops. And what? Is that what you want, Blaze? To be destroyed? What? You! So it's, of course, the angel. Whoops. He says, yeah, I just released from hospital, and I heard you shun yourself, and I figure you need a friend. Ghost Rider says, I don't need a friend. Or I have no friends. You used to, both as Johnny Blaze and as a Ghost Rider, but you fixed that real good. I have a theory about you. I think the more bitter and unhappy you are as Johnny Blaze, the more ruthless and savage the Ghost Rider is when he emerges. I like that theory, right? Because this version of the Ghost Rider is way savage. It is, in my opinion, way more, a little bit depth than, I need vengeance, when the Johnny Blaze, when Dan Ketch was becoming Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider was more detached to the human side at a certain point. Well, these two are more linked to each other. I like that. So he says, hey, you've been through a rough time. And he says, hey, you almost made it worse. What if the Avengers hadn't stopped you? You were out to kill me, burn the town. Where would it have ended? I must seek vengeance. Yeah, I know. As the spirit of vengeance, you have no choice. So I'm the one you picked to hate, demon. Here I am. Do it. Kill me. When he says no, I am, as Johnny Blaze, I have a choice. And then Thor says, Hotspot, what do we do now? Nothing. The Ghost Rider's gone, and Johnny Blaze has committed no crime. Come on, Johnny. Let me help you. Captain says, this reminds me of Hank in a way. He let things get to him, made one mistake, and then made it worse. What will become of him? He has help available if he wants it, but it's like he said, he has a choice. No big brother can make it for him. In the end, it's all up to him. What a great book. They are, also linked. Hank lost his way, Johnny Blaze lost his way, and there are repercussions. The only thing they can do is pick themselves up and become better. I mean, if the freaking writers know what to do with him. Anyway, I enjoyed this a lot, and I like to see Johnny Blaze as the Ghost Rider again, and his version of the Ghost Rider. So guys, let me know in the comments what you think about this, and see you next time. Bye-bye.